sitting here with my husband Kyle.
Hi.
And we are in Hawaii on vacation, and right now we are staying at a Airbnb. Do you remember the name of
I
it?
think it's a Kona Mountain Refuge.
Kona
We're staying in the Blue Bliss.
Yeah, that's the section of the house that we're in. To hear about my story as to how I got into selling ethically sourced, a chocolate made from ethically sourced cocoa.
Cacao.
Cacao. Yeah, I never heard it pronounced cacao until we went on a farm tour in Hawaii a couple of years ago.
Interesting story.
Yes?
So there's cocoa, which is like the powder cocoa. There's cocoa and cacao. And the only reason there's a difference is because I guess the Spaniards or somebody spelled it wrong.
Oh.
And so there's two different spellings, and they're both right. Cocoa and cacao. Isn't that funny?
Okay, but didn't you say one of them is when it's like growing on the tree, and one of them is when it's picked?
No,
I
think
okay.
cacao and cocoa are both like the pod coming from the tree.
Okay, but sometimes it's spelled one way, and sometimes it's spelled another way.
Isn't that funny?
It is. And that's been a consistent funny thing. Kyle's done a lot of research on cacao. Because as I've gotten into selling chocolate, he's been just reading a lot of things, watching YouTube things, and
reading some books.
Reading books and documentaries. He's been watching documentaries, learn more and more about chocolate and chocolate making. Because we're selling chocolate that's ethically sourced from all over the world, different companies that ethically source from different places, and help empower people as they support buying their cacao. But now, because we love to travel and be love because we love we beloved
instead of because we love, just call it beloved.
Because we beloved, yeah,
just beloved, and it
yeah.
means because we love.
I like that. Yes, beloved chocolate, that's why we're here. That's the best. Beloved chocolate, so we traveled to Hawaii again this time.
Yeah.
But this time, so a couple of years ago, we toured a cacao farm, but never knew that we would be selling cacao chocolate. Yeah, actually chocolate is what we sell, but sometimes cacao beans,
yeah, cacao beans are what you
nibs.
crush up and do whatever you're going to do to make chocolate.
Yes, but back then we didn't know we would actually, that I would open my own company, as he supported me and cheered me on so much and helped me build a website and, things like that. Anyways, we didn't know that we would grow this desire to do what?
Make chocolate.
Yes! Sorry, I wanted him to say that part. I talk a lot, but I want you to hear what he has to say, because he has become super chocolate.
Super chocolate. Trying. One of the fun things
he's
about
become
coming...
super obsessed with chocolate.
Yeah.
But he's also super chocolate now. There's Superman, there's super chocolate.
Yes. Well, one of the reasons we came to the island is we had some connections, contacted some chocolate makers and cacao farmers here on the Big Island. Yeah. So we decided, why not take a trip and meet these farmers and meet these chocolate makers and see what we can learn about the whole process. And we think it's cool. Hawaii is the only place in the 50 states that you can grow chocolate in. Cacao. Sorry, you can't grow chocolate. You're right.
Yeah, but
you can't grow
that
chocolate.
Would be cool. That would be really cool to just
grow chocolate bars, to grow cacao in. And so if we thought that Hawaii would be the best place to come.
It's also a blessed place.
And it's also the place that we were able to make connections with some cacao farmers. So We're here in the next couple, I think 2-3 days, we're going to visit some farms and meet some people.
Mm-hmm. People who grow cacao, who work with others who grow cacao here in Hawaii, and who have their own chocolate brands that we're excited to connect with, and they seem to want to connect with us too, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
So a couple of things. We're going to taste some chocolate that's
Of
made
course.
here, which is amazing.
Priorities.
We're going to visit some farms and meet some people.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully you can take that little journey with us. And we'll post some videos of these awesome people that are kind of make it a life mission
Mm-hmm.
to grow ethically sourced cacao and to make awesome chocolate.
Yes, and he acts like he's concluding this video. I'm like, bye, but I always have more to say.
That was just my part.
Oh, it was a really good part, and it's true. We are meeting with people here. The Big Island. I didn't think of saying what island we're actually on, but it's the Big Island. But
Which is the island of Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. And what are some of your favorite things about the Big Island, Kyle?
I love that it's so big. That there seems like there's tons to do and you can drive. I know we've been to Oahu and it's amazing how short the drive is and then you're all the way around the island. And so it's cool. Yesterday we drove up to the north of the island and
The Big Island where we are.
Yeah, you go through all these different climatic zones. So you'll go through, here we're in Captain Cook right now. It's kind of mountain jungly. We're up pretty high. I think it was like 1,500 feet above sea level, so you can see the ocean, but it's a long ways down. And then as you drive through Kona, it gets lava fields and really dry and just a lot of yellow grasses. And then you get up into the mountains where it looks almost like Scotland.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
We saw sheep and cows and just really green grass covering hills and what looks like pine trees.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just really pretty. And then you drop down into, I think the city's called Hawaii, down to this point, and it gets to be like tropical jungle. And you see, banana trees and all these fruit trees and rivers. And we hiked down to this valley that has I don't know if it's a lake or a river, but it's beautiful.
It's beautiful water.
And
right by the coast.
yeah, there's a black sand beach, and they have this, so it's pretty undeveloped, and they have all these rope swings that are tied to these trees that you can swing on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the hike down it can be pretty steep there's some points. I almost fell down and somehow caught myself, but that could have been a pretty cool fail video.
Yeah, and I almost died hiking back up. Should have seen how much I was sweating.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
But it was fun. We bought some lemonade from two kids that had
Yes.
made some fresh lemonade. We also bought,
This is an area that's out in the
Middle of nowhere.
It feels like you're in the middle of nowhere, honestly. There's hardly anybody who lives in this area for like what feels like an hour before you get there. Maybe. Anyways, a kid selling lemonade.
two kids selling lemonade.
That's true.
And then there was a guy there that was selling like a little fruit stand, and we bought some, is it pompelos?
I think that's what they're called. Pompelos or
sweet-
pomelos?
Pomelos,
I don't know.
whatever they are. Oranges and some limes. And then we also stopped at this, we should have got the name of it, but as you're driving out to this overlook,
There's
There's-
this, yeah.
a really cool little like trailer, like a food truck that's selling smoothies and fruit and juices.
In biodegradable cups with biodegradable straws. That when you're done drinking it, it's fun to chew on the straws because they're really crunchy.
Yeah.
I'll always tell you the weird stuff. Yeah, we think you shouldn't miss. We also
So it's
took
called the Pololu, Pololu
LU.
Valley Lookout.
Yeah, I wouldn't miss that for anything. It's kind of a longer drive, but it's a very scenic and relaxing drive.
It's just a dead end road, like you
It just
park,
ends.
you could park on the side of the road, or there's like a parking spot place with like 10 parking spots, is it?
Yeah,
And
but we've been there. This is our third time as we've come to Hawaii. We've always been able to park. It's not like,
oh, you can always find parking.
yeah, it's because it's not super crowded. I don't know if a lot of people even know about it, but definitely don't miss that. And then another time-lapse video that we took when we walked across at least a mile of lava fields.
Yeah.
This is dried rock, it's not active flowing volcano lava. I mean, he
Cool
is
rock, yeah.
he is super chocolate. But he doesn't walk across
But I don't walk
hot
across
lava.
hot lava.
I mean, there's other super things he does. Okay. Anyways, we'll get to that another
Like
time.
make dinner.
Oh, he does make dinner so often, and he goes grocery shopping often.
Mm-hmm.
And we were foster parents for 8 years, and I loved watching him with our kids before that, and still do. But as I watched him love other people's children and kids who had been through a lot of trauma, I really thought he was super awesome, and now he's super chocolate. But that's like to the next level, chocolate level. But just loved seeing him love these kids and show them love. Do you want me to say the word love again? He's
Beloved.
yeah, beloved did.
Because we love did him do that.
Yes, because we loved did him do that, and I watched him and said, "Oh, I beloved did love him."
And because we loved him.
Anyways,
We'll have to work on that word.
yeah, there's a lot that we need to work on, and that's one of the things. But yeah, super chocolate means he is going to learn all the master science stuff.
Yeah, maybe you guys can take that
chocolate
journey
making.
with me too.
Yes, please take that journey with him while I walk alongside him and cheer him on as he's cheered me on, starting my business selling chocolate. We will go on this journey to learn how to also make it, and we plan to continue to sell ethically sourced chocolate made from ethically sourced cacao made by other companies, because I feel like we're all in this together. And I know you have something to say, but just a second. We're all in this together. It seems like all these chocolate makers that are wanting to empower people in the cacao community. I've been so pleasantly surprised as I've communicated with people that we all seem to have the same mission, and so we all want to help each other out and have these positive connections with each other and help to lift each other's businesses up instead of being competition against each other. And that is a pleasant surprise. Okay, now that I talked for a while, what did you want to say?
I was going to say that a lot of people would ask, why do you care so much about learning where the cacao comes from if you're just going to make the chocolate, you're not going to grow it yourself? And I think it's really important kind of to know where our food comes from. And I think it helps us be more responsible in eating our food and making food if we know where it comes from. Growing up, I had no idea that chocolate came from a fruit, right? You just think of it as eating fun things.
Yeah, you just eat that bar of chocolate.
And the idea that it comes from a fruit and that it's grown a lot, mostly in third world countries, I think can help us understand more why it's important to know where we're sourcing our chocolate and our cacao from, because it can come from places that aren't responsible and not good.
Right. And I was on a podcast recently. Debbie with podcasts interviewed me, and she interviews lots of other people who are just starting small to see what difference we can make by just saying, I'm gonna do this thing. And she really emphasizes on her podcast how much just the small steps really do make a difference, because we're really looking closely at cacao and where we're getting it from and where we're buying it from when we eat it personally or in our business or in our pursuits with learning how to make chocolate. But there's lots of other areas that we can look at, and sometimes I personally get overwhelmed and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to have time to see where everything that I get comes from. But if we take small steps, and right now we're looking into chocolate. I've learned how to ethically source my jewelry, so I'm getting it handmade or from artisans from around the world, buying secondhand clothing and looking into fair trade companies. But there's other food, there's other items that I don't know who makes them or where they come from.
But we try our best.
Right.
And starting small is
Yes.
really
But
important.
starting small is okay. So in life, just taking simple steps. And yeah, like I have a friend who likes to eat organically and healthy, and I'm into that idea too. But I go through phases in my life where I'm like, I just need to eat to keep alive today. So I'm not going to maybe eat as healthy as would be ideal. But I think that can be applied to anything. Just keep it simple and grow where you can. But follow us on our chocolate journey, because we'd love to have you along, to hear where we go and who we connect with. And
Let's make it fun.
yes. So we hope that you join us here. Uh, Follow our YouTube channel, which is relatively extremely new right now.
We're gonna come up with a really cool name.
Yeah, I don't know what it will be. Maybe it will be Super Chocolate.
Kyle's Chocolate World.
Yeah.
We call it Tiles Chocolate Worlds.
Oh yeah, because
Or-
I'm Ty. This is Kyle. Tile. Do 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 do. Anyways, but we're about to actually check out of this place that we've been staying, Kona Mountain. What?
Refuge.
Refuge. And then tonight we're actually checking into. We're staying on a cacao plantation for the rest of our stay here in Hawaii. So that's exciting. Do you remember what it's called? We'll probably tell you about
Yeah.
it when we're there,
Yeah, we'll just have to do that.
because it's very exciting.
I just don't know that if the place hasn't, like, I know that it's Sharky. It's like Sharky's. It's that's the chocolate place, but I'm not sure if like the place to stay on Airbnb has a different name.
Yeah. So, anyways, and tomorrow morning we're meeting with Hafil's Chocolate. She seems very passionate about the anti-slavery movement, and we'll highlight her. We'll highlight, just a lot of new things that we don't even know that we're gonna discover yet, and we're gonna make it really fun and really awkward at times. Super amazing-ish.
You don't get too amazing without a little bit of awkward.
That's true. So, join us. Here's the awkward dance. Join us. Okay. Bye. woke up one day and decided to start selling chocolate, I didn't really know what that plan would look like or what all the steps would be, but I've had a lot of therapy and I've read a lot of books that have kind of helped me realize that I don't have to have all the answers now. I used to get way too overwhelmed and think if I was going to have a goal to do something and accomplish anything, that I had to know exactly how to do it. Otherwise, there was no point in even starting. And I think it's good to have an outline of some sort, because otherwise it's hard to get anywhere. But you don't have to know all of the steps now. You just need to know that it's what you want enough, and then be willing to take one step at a time. I've had a lot of practice questioning my limiting beliefs and thinking, no, like, I'm just going to try this. And I've worried, like, what if I try something and it fails majorly? What are people going to think? Are they going to think that I'm flaky? And I've come a long way to think this, but, and I doubt this sometimes, but finally I had to be like, I don't have to worry about what everybody thinks. If I fall flat on my face, I'll be so much happier that I tried this thing than that I always wondered if I could make a difference, if there was something that I personally could do. So even if I fall on my face, like, this is my life. Nobody else needs to really care. I'm the only one who will really, I guess, I'm the only one who could regret the feeling of falling on my face. And yet, it's so worth the chance that I have to take to consider what other people might think. What do I think of myself? And what I think of myself is, it's worth it. It's worth it to me. The worst thing that could happen is it doesn't work. That whatever I try maybe won't make a difference. That I won't be able to have a successful business and figure it out. But what if I could? What if I could make a huge difference for the world? And knowing that what if I could, and trying despite all my insecurities, just makes it worth it. Okay, so not wanting to figure out how to pay for a brick and mortar store when I first started out made it so that when I woke up and decided, you know what, I'm just going to figure it out no matter how long it takes, I do it from home. I'm trying to work on learning how to advertise through my Instagram, but I'm sure that I'll find other ways too. I've been selling at my friend's art studio. She invited me to sell there, and that helped. When there's been Friday night art strolls in my town in Ogden, that's just kind of helped me learn how to talk to people and say, hey, this is my mission, here's the chocolate that I have. And it's so fun to see people's faces light up as they try new chocolate, because they've tried chocolate, they knew that they like it, but they didn't know how many different flavors it can have depending on where it comes from in the world, and what craft chocolate maker, what magic they have in the different ways that they're able to make it. And it can have, like, just like there's different types of apples and they have different flavors, it seems like chocolate from all around the world, depending on the soil and the conditions and the climate in that part of the world, it can just taste so different. Different companies have different 70% bars from all over the world, and the flavor differences are just so intensely different. And chocolate itself is like a fruit. There's this white fleshy stuff that surrounds the cocoa bean, and it tastes kind of like high shoes. When we came here a couple of years ago with our kids to Hawaii, we did a farm tour and we tried it, and back then I knew a little bit about slavery in the chocolate industry, but had no idea that I would just like become that obsessed and be like, oh, I want to do something to make a difference in that area of the world. Anyways, when we came here, we got to try some of that fleshy fruit around the cocoa beans, and the cocoa bean itself, and that fleshy fruit tasted like high chews to our kids. And with it being a fruit, it just has different flavors all over the world. So it's been fun to become obsessed with this, and fun to see other people enjoy chocolate. And this is just the beginning, and I'm so excited for that. I have a grand vision of the difference that I want to make, and to sell many different companies' chocolate. But I know this is just the beginning, and that my dream will unfold even more. And I'm taking one step at a time, just figuring out where that dream goes, and knowing that I can do this. I'm changing the self-talk that I've always had, that has affected me in so many areas of my life. And so this journey isn't just empowering others, it's empowering me too. And that really means a lot to me, because I've always wanted to empower other people in the friendships that I make and in the relationships that I have. And I've given a lot of myself through many different things that I've tried to just reach out and show people that I care. But I feel like in some ways I've forgotten to do enough to empower myself and be like, hey, guess what? You matter too. It's not just all the other people. Like, you're really important. And I think that this chocolate journey is helping me with that. And I'm trying to just reframe my brain and the messages that I tell myself, so that as I empower myself, I can better empower others, and just serve better in this world. And so I'm thankful for this chocolate journey. Okay, and I hope you guys will follow along as we do more and more to help empower people, because that's the next step in our journey. Is my husband loves to cook, and he has started looking into all of that science, the food science of making chocolate, and we are excited to